I don't know what exactly, but what sort of font does not necessarily always happen, even though I was going to partake anyway. Hey y'all, it's Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today. And for this video, we're going to be going through my August TBR. Alrighty, before we get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. And you got to tell me in the comments, what is a book that you're really looking forward to getting to this month? We're not dilly-dallying around. Let's just dive right on in. Starting at the top with my obligation reads. This is usually books that I'm really excited to get to, actually. Starting out with the Geek Squad pick, which is the book club I host over on my Patreon. I'll have a link to that in the description down below. I'll have a spoilery reading vlog as well as a Discord so we can discuss the book as we read. I am so excited that we are going to be checking out Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame by Neon Yang. I've been very intrigued by this author, but when I saw this likened to The Mandalorian, I knew I was going to have to read it. It's a queer Sapphic fantasy story where we are following this woman who is a dragon hunter. That is what she has been raised to do, but she ends up finding a home with this woman who I think is like the dragon queen? Yeah, dragon queen. If the Mandalorian comparison wasn't enough for me, that setup right there does have me so interested. I'm really excited to get to this one. Shout out to my nerds tier for voting on this. Cannot wait. Plus, I am fairly certain it will work for something. I don't know what exactly, but something on my Sapphic bingo board that I'm partaking in. If you missed that, I'll put a link to my TBR up above. Then I do also have my romance book club, which I partake in person. And this month we need to read a book that we judge by its cover. This is harder for me because I feel like with romances, I don't really go based purely on cover. I do kind of need to know a little bit about a romance book before I want to pick it up. That said, I've just recently bought two books that were sort of cover purchases. First one is Starshipped by Kat Sebastian. This is my first of this author. They are very well known for their queer romances. I'm such a big fan of this pop art style, and that was why I picked it up. Then Romantasy by Marie Rocher. I mean, come on. This looks like so much fun. And then like the sprayed edges, hilarious. So this one's like a fake friendship scheme between these two actors who have actually hated each other for years, but now there's the opportunity for one of them to get a job and leave this TV show that they work on together. Whereas this one sounds like it is a adventure story between this guy and his best friend when the main character accidentally volunteers them for a monster hunt. So not 100% sure which book it is going to be, but these two are like the most appropriate picks for this prompt. Next up for obligation reads, every month I do try my best to read a nonfiction. Does not necessarily always happen, but I am trying to work through the ones on my own TBR. And next up is Close to Shore by Michael Capuzzo. Pretty sure. This was basically a souvenir. This was a souvenir purchase when I had a girls' weekend in Martha's Vineyard, though ironically I got a book that is actually set in Jersey. However, this is a real story of the shark attacks, which ended up inspiring Jaws. Did not know that was based on a true story, but I am very intrigued to read about it. Now, apart from obligation reads, I do have a very rough TBR for the Full Moon Readathon, which is happening this month. It is hosted by Jan Agaton. Adore her, one of my favorite booktubers. I'll have a link to her down below. So we have 4 different characters. Each of them have 2 different prompts, and you want to try and complete all of the prompts so you can collect the characters. This year's theme is cryptids, which I'm a big cryptid fan, meaning I had to partake, even though I was going to partake anyway. And unsurprisingly, this is not a set TBR. I do have options. Starting out with the first one, we got Mothman to read a book that has foiling on the cover or edges, and I am looking at... Okay. Oh, this doesn't have foiling. Oh, shoot. I thought it did. Okay, well, never mind on that one. But I do still have some options. Okay. One I am considering is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. This is a YA romantasy that's very a la Phantom of the Opera / like Moulin Rouge, I've heard. I've been meaning to get around to it for forever. It's on my 10 books for 2026 list, and it does have some foiling. Not a lot, but you can see with all the like drops of gold down here. On the opposite side, I'm also considering We Call Them Witches by India Rose Bauer. I don't know what this is apart from Sapphic Witches, because I'm planning to use it to complete the prompt Judge a Book by Its Cover, ironically, for my Reddit fantasy bingo board. Obviously, this one has a fair amount of foiling on it, so that's already 2 options. The other reading prompt is to read 100 pages in a single day. I tend to hit that fairly regularly, so I don't really have a set book here, although I guess I could put a manga or a comic to like really ensure it happens. But I have faith it'll probably get completed. Next up for the Kraken prompt. First one is a book with a mystery, and I'm currently looking at maybe, finally, Getting Around to Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I've had this on my TBR for years. I believe it's a slightly fantastical mystery set in this small town where unfortunately this young woman's best friend's body was found and her boyfriend at the time got all of the blame. It couldn't be proven that he was responsible and he was sort of ran out of town. It's like 10 years in the future. He has come back and the two work together to try and officially figure out what happened to this friend slash ex-girlfriend. I'm guessing probably a romance starts to develop between them too. I've heard positive things on it. I've been meaning to get around to it. It just has yet to happen. Then for Water on the Cover, I'm looking at Moms of Mayhem by Amy Vance. This is also a pick for my Buns and Roses TBR jar project. So if you're unaware what I'm talking about, I'll put a link to the playlist up above. But as you can see, the two main characters are ice skating, meaning there's water under them, technically speaking. But I believe this one's like a brother's best friend with sort of a second chance romance. This woman ends up moving back to her hometown with her teenage son. He ends up joining like this hockey league, I think, and her brother's best friend, who's like a former NHL star, just recently also returned to town in order to coach in the league, I think. It sounds very cute, so I'm really hoping I can make time for it. Moving on to the next is The Jersey Devil, and the first prompt is to read a book that is set in the US. I'm not 100% certain, but I feel fairly confident that I can say The Sweetest Risk by Leslie McElroy will probably be set in the US. I did not purposefully put the two hockey romances together. This just kind of worked out that way. Oh my god, and it is also a brother's best friend. That's hilarious. How did I not notice that? So it looks like this one we have an active player who is also trying to get the captain spot, and then on the opposite side with the brother's little sister. Because of her brother, she has a rule about dating hockey players, but she has recently come off a bad breakup and is also trying to go in a new direction for her life, so maybe that rule is gonna change. Also looks really cute, hoping I will enjoy too. And I'm going to double up with this one for the other prompt, which is to read a book that has sports involved. Last one is The Yeti, and for winter vibes, especially off of the cover, I think Moms of Mayhem could definitely be working here as well. I'm not 100% certain if it is, but like the cover on Spells for Forgetting also sort of gives me winter vibes, but I don't know if that's the case. And the other prompt is to read a book that is between 200 and 400 pages. I'm fairly certain nearly all of the books I have listed so far are in that range, except for Where Dreams Descend. So chances are we'll manage to get this one done. It'll just be doubled up with something. All right, and on that note, that's officially it for today, y'all. So thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, let's leave. I guess we gotta leave a hockey emoji. I mean, two hockey romances. Was not intentional, but a very obvious connection that I can't believe I didn't notice beforehand. I've got links to all my socials as well as a few ways you can support me down in the description. I come out videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!